everybody. Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of She Shift. How's everyone doing? I can't wait. Look, I have another amazing powerhouse. But before I bring her on, if you don't know, we always start the show with 3 homework assignments. It's super easy. So the first one is 1. Let me know. Today is Win Wednesday. Let me know what your win is for this week. A win is a goal that you've met, or a goal that you're in the work on you're doing in the works of doing it, or you're thinking about it but you still haven't gotten to it yet. So let me know in the chat what your win is for this week. You'll get to hear what my win is, as well as my amazing guests. That is assignment number 1. Assignment number 2 is all about going to get your pen, your paper, go grab your girlfriend or girlfriends, your family members, and all. Did you see today's topic? So today's topic is all about from burnout to balance and redefining what wellness means to us, especially those of us over 45. So I think this is a great topic. I love to hear your comments. If you do not have StreamYard, only way I can see your instant messages is if you give access to me now. So go ahead, shoot over there, give me access so I can see your questions instantly. If not, there is a delay. Excuse me. My voice is a little raspy here. And if you are, and so you can drop them in the feed and let me know how you are doing, and as well as any questions for myself or for my guests or for both of us, as we love doing it. So that's assignment number 2. Assignment number 3 is all about, y'all know I'm on this health and wellness journey. Ironically enough, I have the guest on. She talks about wellness. Part of my health journey is all about eating healthy. So I want to know if y'all drop it in the feed or send me some information on what is your healthy go-to snack. Now you can text it to me at 614-674-0074. And I would love to hear what is your go-to healthy snack, or what snack are you eating right now? I'd love to hear that. So without further ado, let me tell you who I have to bring to the stage. Her name is Dr. Leslie Green. She's an integrated wellness and leadership consultant. She's wellness strategist and an award-winning expert who helps high-achieving women and forward-thinking organizations shift from burnout to balance and lead with greater clarity, energy, and impact. I thought she would be a great asset to our community. So without further ado, let me bring the doctor to the stage. Hello.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am great as well. Well, I said a little bit about you, but what more would you like to drop to everybody?
Okay. There we are. Yeah. So, hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Lynise Green. As Pam mentioned, I'm in the over 45 club. Pretty far over 40, well, not that far, but pretty far over 45. I am a naturopathic doctor with a background in nutrition and stress. So hopefully we're going to have a really good conversation today. And I'm just looking forward to getting into it. Got my contact information there if you want to get in touch with me, but I'm just looking forward to having a great conversation with Pam today. So
Yeah, I'm trying to do some nifty kind of things. So I apologize if you guys see one and not the other, but we're working on it. So with that being said, doctor, one thing I wanted to first talk to you about is many women in midlife are burnt out. I totally can relate to that, but still pushing through. What are the silent signals of burnout we often ignore, especially us high achievers?
oh, yeah, that's us. Raise our hands, right? That is us. So, it's interesting that you lead with that question because I've been thinking about this and talking about this, it seems like more and more over the last couple of weeks with people. So, a lot of times when we think about burnout, we immediately go to the physical thing. We're tired, we're not sleeping, we're not eating, all of what I'm going to call those obvious things. We're not moving our bodies the way that we need to. But the interesting thing that I think about burnout, when I think about symptoms and how do you know you're headed down that path, I think there's some things that happen before the physical thing shows up. So a lot of times people will experience what I'll call mental burnout, right? So decision fatigue, just really finding it challenging to stay focused. You're losing clarity. Your creativity is waning. A lot of times that precedes, right, the physical thing. I think there's a component of burnout that's emotional. So we're not um, we're not finding joy in what we do. We're not making time for ourselves to do things that nurture ourselves and just make us happy. Happy is an underrated word. So, we're not doing those things. We're easily irritated. And not just at the end of like one long day, but we're just kind of in that zone often. And I think another thing that precedes that physical burnout is what I'm going to call misalignment. So finding ourselves operating from a space that is not in alignment with our core values, with the things that are important to us, and who we are, and saying yes when you really want to say no, or committing to things when you really don't have the capacity to actually do them or do them well or show up as your full self. So I think there's a few things that happen, like I said, before that physical burnout really steps in. Our body's always talking to us and giving us clues. We just have to learn.
Ignore 'em. We just go ahead and say it. We go ahead to say it. We ignore them, especially as
We ignore them, right?
we do.
We do.
We ignore them because we're always worried about what that person says or what that person, or even better yet, what to handle to take care of the family. And so we do ignore all those symptoms.
Right.
And I did write them down. Look, I wrote down on my little paper as you were talking. But as
Mhm.
we are facing those, and I like when you had talked about the mental burnout, and
Mhm.
I can totally connect with you there. I just told my supervisor not to, actually, we talked about it last week. I was so mentally burnt out, I had checked out. And
Yeah.
she said she could tell that I had checked out. So what do you get? What advice would you give to women so they don't wait to me, like me, wait to the last minute
Right.
for that mental checkout point? What was something that you would suggest to them?
Yeah. So, one of the most powerful suggestions is, it sounds simple, is the power of pausing. Just taking a beat, taking a moment. And it doesn't have to be long. It can be 30 seconds in between a meeting at work or in between a task at home, between, dinner and kids and homework and spouses and partners and all the things, all of the things that we're juggling. Just to take a minute, close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and just create a little bit of space. Give your nervous system a chance to settle down a little bit in between that, to start. That is just one of the most powerful things that you can do, and it's available to you anywhere. You could be sitting at a stoplight, just, open your eyes when it turned green to go, but hey, it's always available to you. Just 30 seconds here, a minute there, to just pause. It's so much power in pausing.
Look, I wrote that down. Power and pausing, 30 seconds. So I already, and I'm good for taking a pause at my desk. So I definitely would do my 30 seconds pause. So let me ask you this. How did your own journey from engineering to neuropathic mirror the shift you now help other women make? What sparked your pivot?
You know what? My own episodes, plural, of burning out. So I was an engineer working for a Fortune 50 defense contractor, putting in the hours. I was on the fast track. I was high potential employee, climbing the ladder, doing all the things. And got to a point where I had just completely burned out. And this was years ago, I think, like before burnout was even a thing. And I burned out, and at that point really didn't have the tools or the resources or the knowledge or frankly even the support to figure out how not to do that again. um, talk to my doctor, some time off from work, and then you go right back at it again because, like you said, we ignore the symptoms, right? We
Mhm.
normalize being tired, not sleeping, not eating. It's just normal. It's what you do because we're all hustling and grinding and you're always on. So yeah, for me, getting to this space was incredibly personal because I had gone through it several times. And as I learned more when I went, back to school to get my doctorate and really began to study the body and stress, um, I developed a system for helping people to not do it because I had to figure out how to not keep going down that bunny trail all the time. So yeah, this work is incredibly and burnout really personal to me, very personal.
I thought I could honestly, I will say this, and this is the first time I'd ever said this to anybody. I never thought that I would say I was burnt out. I thought that I could catch it before it came, before it came to where I was getting ready to shut down. And I just never paid attention to it until literally it was affecting my job because I was so burnt out on sitting in this cubicle and not
Mhm.
thinking of what else can I do after this cubicle? I could
Yeah.
not think past that.
Mhm.
Now can I? Of course, because now I do take care of my wellness. And the way I do that is, man,
Yeah.
everyone may laugh, but I even on my breaks, I take a 5-minute nap. I literally shut down. I turn off the lights, and take a literally 5-minute nap. And then
Yeah.
I'm rejuvenated, and then I can work on some other things before I go back into having to do work. But I have had to learn, and thanks to I have a amazing, she is a sleep yoga tech, and her
Oh,
name is
sweet.
Tekka Thomas, and she taught me the understanding and the importance of taking a nap. And
Yeah.
so I do it at lunch and I do it at break. And if I feel like today was another example. Today I started early, and I think I've already started doing 2 hours of work. I'm like, okay, I have to stop for a minute.
Yeah.
I needed my 5 minutes. So recognize, and I'm giving that story because I want women to recognize, pay attention. I can attest, I
Yeah.
didn't until
Yeah.
it was too late. I
Yeah,
mean,
most
it
of us
was too
don't. We
late.
normalize it. It's what everybody else is doing. We don't want to appear like we're not capable, we're not
Mhm.
able. So we're suffering in silence. We don't talk about it,
We
and
don't.
then we don't talk about it until we're down and and then it's too late, Now
Right.
you're in crisis. So
Well, why do you think we don't talk about it? Let's talk a little bit about that. Why do you think we don't talk about it? I don't honestly, I've not seen very many conversations like we're having, that we
yeah.
literally are talking about burnout, and why don't we talk about it? It's nothing to be ashamed about.
It really isn't. I think part of it is where we are just as a society. Like I said, we are living in that, all you hear about, are you grinding? Are you hustling? So we're always on and and there's that pressure, right? There's that pressure
Mhm.
to be always on, to always do. There's always one more thing to do. So I think that's part of the reason because I don't want to appear like I can't keep up, like I'm
Yeah,
not good enough, and a
yeah,
lot of that comes from that that outside validation, right? I don't want other people to see me as weak or, like I said, I'm not capable of something. Some of it is cultural, especially I want to say to Black women, right?
that's true.
We wow, it's crazy. We start young with telling our young women, our young men, you got to work twice as hard to get half as much. So we're already ingraining this in our heads, in our youth heads, our teenagers, our kids, that you have to grind, you have to hustle. You can't take a break. You can't take time off. You're going to get behind. You got to, so we're already instilling that. And so whether directly or indirectly, we're putting those messages into ourselves culturally. So again, I can't, I don't want to go against that. Um, I think in corporate settings, again, it's that
Mhm.
I'm working hard because hard work is going to get me the promotion, the salary up, the kudo, the one up, whatever it is. And when we get to that point of burnout, we realize I've been busting my butt. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get the promotion. I didn't get the salary. What I got was more stuff on my plate to have to handle. And now I'm burned out from it. So, there is that moment where we can begin to learn that hard work. I'm not against hard work, don't get me
True.
wrong,
True.
but it's about impact and not just about like how much can I get done, how many emails can I answer on Sunday afternoon, how late can I stay at work every day, because that's not winning for us. That's not getting us the wins that we're looking for at
It's not.
all.
It's not. And I again, I think you're right. There are so many women out here, especially those that are in the C-suite. They're out here putting in the work. They are working
Hmm.
hard. I know some very close to me that are in that C-suite, and they working their butts off.
Yep.
And then I'm always asking, okay, so what is your what's next? And they're like, I can't even think of that right now. And that right there has scared me to create this conversation that we can have. I understand that in the C-suite, their expectations, what's expected of them is very high, but also I want them to understand there can be a balance.
Yeah.
Not there can be a balance, and knowing that that balance is first think of you. And I'm always using the analogy of, and this is sad to say, but if something was to happen to you today, that seat is not going to be cold
Oh, for long.
for long.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Not. So
No.
you have to, and I mean, maybe, and I'm just saying maybe on a good time, a week. I'm
Yeah.
saying maybe but after that, they are moving on to let me fill that seat. So with that being said, you have to recognize the value in yourself
Yeah.
and understanding, okay, let me pump the brakes a little bit and let me get some breath,
Hmm.
fresh air for me.
Yeah.
I feel that's, like I said, I know someone very close who's in the C-suite, and man, she's killing it. But also too, I'm always like, when are you gonna? And she does do things for herself, but
Yeah.
doesn't
Good.
recognize that after we get to a certain point, what are you gonna do? So
Yeah. Yeah. What's
and
next? And a lot of women struggle with that. They put so much into everything other than themselves.
true.
Um, and then quietly we have a lot of resentment that builds up because we're
Mhm.
giving and giving to our jobs, to our families, to our kids, to the church, to our friends, to
You're right.
everything.
You're right.
And we realize, we may not say it this way, but it's like I'm pouring from an empty cup. Why is my cup empty? I'm pouring into everybody else. How
Right.
come nobody's pouring into me? And again, that's another one of those moments where you realize, it's good. You want. I had a great conversation with somebody over the weekend. She said, you want connections, right? Connection is two
Yes.
way. It's reciprocal. You don't want attachments because attachment just attaches and
Yes.
takes away from
Yes.
you, right?
Yes.
So you want to have connection so you can have that reciprocal relationship, but you got to learn to pour into yourself. I always tell people, I have learned, and I'm still not perfect at it, but I have learned to pour into myself because my goal is I want to give from the overflow. I want my cup to overflow. So whatever I'm giving to you, my cup still stays full. So,
Right. I
that's my goal. That's my
Mine
goal.
too. That is my new goal. My cup is to. That's why I felt the shift in the name. So women
Mhm.
can even still feel it here, and it resonates with them, knowing
Yeah.
that the name before, and that was before, and that was all the chaoticness was moving and moving. We were moving, but now we're shifting. And when you
Yes.
shift, it comes with eye opening. It comes with honesty. It comes
Mhm.
with being vulnerable, but also understand you don't have to do it by yourself. I think that's also a
Exactly.
problem too, though.
It is. Yeah.
Especially us African American women, we feel that we have to take on the as my old boss used to call me, the Shira
Oh man.
persona. She used to
Yeah.
call me that all the time, and I
I
never
don't.
understood it until now. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, now I totally would understand what you mean
I
about
know.
the Shira, but
Yeah, yeah. I tell people all the time, like I used to have that superwoman cape thing. Like
Yeah,
my cape has holes in it. The S is peeling off my chest. Don't call me that anymore. I
yeah.
don't know. I don't
Well,
want to be that person.
yeah, I'm like, you can have the name and you can
Yeah,
have
you can have all of that.
yeah, with you, with you. So let me ask you this: in your work with organizations, how have you seen women over 45 shift cultures and conversations by showing up differently?
Yeah. So, it's really interesting. There's been a lot of research that talks about the impact that a leader or a supervisor has on the team that they supervise or the people that they work closely with. And, some studies say that your supervisor has more impact on you and your well-being oftentimes than like your doctor does,
Yeah,
just because. So, when me as a leader over 45, mid management, C suite, when I shift the way that I show up, I then give permission for the people that I work with to show up differently. So, when I shift and I am showing up and I am modeling behaviors that support my well-being, right? I'm taking the breaks. I'm knowing, I'm paying attention to my own energy rhythms. And so if I'm a morning person, I'm scheduling all the crazy stuff in the morning because that's when my energy is high. And I'm not trying
yes,
to do it in the afternoon when I'm fogged out by then. I mean, because if I know this is my rhythm, then let me work, with my rhythm.
mhm,
And then when I'm modeling that behavior, I implicitly give other people the ability to model that behavior. Um, and so it allows them to figure out, okay, what are the things I need to do to show up as my best self? Because I see my leader doing it.
right,
Okay, I'm following the leader, right? I'm following the leader. So I can really, just by, like you said, by shifting the way I show up with intention,
right.
almost without saying anything, I can shift the energy of the room. I can shift the energy of the team. And ultimately, it may take a while depending on the organization, you begin to shift the energy of the culture of the organization. And so much of that, of course, a lot of it starts from the top down.
It does. I agree.
Mhm.
I do. I agree with you there. I'm starting to recognize. I have to still give a huge shout out to my supervisor because she's starting to do that. And this is a and we've been underneath her. I think 2 years. I think she said or 3 years,
Okay.
and she's starting to shift that towards us, and to the point of she's even allowed us to say what we want to say and not hold it against us. And she's quoted
Nice.
in the group, and that's a powerful move for a supervisor. And I commend her for that. And knowing that, and then I did express to the team that I did go to her, and she allowed me, and I told her I just can't. I really can't. Can we figure something out? She's
Yeah.
like, why didn't you say something sooner? So I did
Mm.
express to my team that she's willing to listen. How many of us has a supervisor that's even willing to listen? So if you have someone in your corner that's willing to listen, that's
Mhm.
90% of it.
That's huge.
The rest will come, right? So it's remarkable, and use them to your advantage, but
Yeah.
not to use them to abuse them. And
Right.
they're human beings too, but just if you have someone like that that's like, yeah, let's talk about it, let's figure it out, let's see what we can do to help you and not penalize you. That is a gold mine, and
Absolutely.
you need to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because there are a lot of people that don't have that kind of support, from their
Mhm.
leadership. I know I have been in situations, and what made it in one particular instance really just, I'm going to say, mind blowing, for lack of some other words that I could say. It was another woman leader,
Mhm.
and I went to her and shared, look, this is a
It's
lot,
not
and I'm
right.
being, I'm not missing deadlines. I'm getting my work done, but we need to take a look at what's happening here because I'm getting a lot more. And unlike you in that particular instance, I didn't have that support. And she actually came back to me and was like, well, if you're feeling overwhelmed, perhaps it's because you haven't mastered your job yet. And I thought,
Wow.
Wow, you just said that out loud to me. Okay.
Okay, then that would have been like, okay.
Right, and so immediately I'm like, "Okay, we're not going to her with anything,"
Yep.
and so if you don't have, that kind of, psychological safety where, like you said, you can go to somebody
Mhm.
again, here's one more thing blocking us having the ability to have that conversation where you can ask for help, you get so you don't, and then you suffer in silence,
Yeah, I agree. Before
Yeah.
we go to some other questions, I want to ask you, what does from burnout to balance and redefining wellness after age of 45, what does that look like to you? Or what does it mean to you?
Oh, yeah. So, I talk about when we were talking about burnout, talking about what I call those four energy wells, right? So, what I call my spiritual energy. So, being in alignment, um, making sure that I'm not just knowing, and sometimes that's the starting point, right? Is being very clear about what my values are, but
Mhm.
not just like words on paper. How am I living and breathing these things every day? How are my values informing the decisions I make, my behaviors? How do they inform? So then you pull that thread all the way through. How does it inform how much sleep I'm getting, what time I go to bed, what am I eating, am I moving, am I drinking, right? So I think redefining wellness after 45 is really as the kids say, it's all about you, right? It's all about what do I need to do differently so that I am nurturing myself spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, so that I no longer define success by quantity and productivity, but success is now defined by impact, and my capacity to show up as my full self and be my authentic self in spaces where I am, whether that's at work or whether that's at home. So really learning how to nurture myself and knowing that taking that time allows me to be my best self everywhere. Yeah, I think that's how we redefine it now
I
is
agree.
I'm putting my mask on first. I've taken care of everybody else. I'm
Yep.
shifting, right? I'm shifting, and now I'm going to take care of me first so that I can now show up for the people that I love, the job that I love. I'm not putting that first and then whatever's left, maybe I'll try to give it to myself. That's
Well,
the shift.
we as we talk about it, and I'm like you, but it came when I started doing that shift, it came with guilt. Because now I had guilt sitting on my shoulder, and man, is she talking to me like, "Girl, give it a rest." But
Yeah.
when we face that kind of self-sabotaging voice, what is one way we can I won't say I won't tell you what I did. I want to hear what you would suggest for someone and they're hearing that self-sabotaging voice in their ear or in their head. What
Mhm.
would you say to them?
Yeah, so that is those are moments where we really have to give ourselves grace,
Yeah.
where we have the opportunity. I can't tell anybody what they have to do, but where we have the opportunity to sit with that, to
Mhm.
sit with the guilt, like because I think everything, all the emotions, all the little voices, right? They are there to tell us something. They are there to teach us something. And so what is the guilt trying to tell me about where I'm moving? And sit with that and see what that feels like. What is that message? And the conversation may end up being, I appreciate what you're trying to hold on to. Appreciate what you're trying to preserve. I really do, guilt. Thank you for bringing all of this to my attention. But I need you to understand that I'm moving into a different space in my life. And so that narrative doesn't serve who I am becoming. So
Mhm.
thank you for trying to preserve history for me, but we're going to create a new narrative now. And so trust me and come along. So yeah, sometimes, don't beat yourself up because you'll get it from inside, you'll get it from outside, the people who are used to
Absolutely.
you never saying no, always being there. Like the first time you say no, oh my goodness, you would think the world was going to stop. Everybody is like,
Oh
she
my
just
goodness.
said no to me. What?
Right. Like, what do you, I know there, what the person said to me is, wait a minute, were you talking to me? I was like,
Like,
we're the only two in this room talking. I totally can relate to you. Yeah, I had someone say, I know you didn't tell me no. I said, well,
right.
you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. You sit on that word for a moment and I'm gonna let you go, and then we'll call it for a little bit. And I had to walk away.
Yeah.
But that did teach me that I needed to create I needed to create the next powerful thing, boundaries.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was the reality of it all. That was the
Yes.
eye opener, that, and the boundary that I set, it was set for me, not for anybody else. It
Oh,
was for
yeah.
me, for my mindset. Because when I said that to the person, they were like, well, I know you're not setting it for me. Okay, see, you're gonna
Yeah.
make me say some words that you're getting ready to take me out of character, and God's
Right.
still working on me. Now remember, he's still working on me.
Right.
So you're
Right.
getting ready to take me out of character. But but knowing to use your voice, I have to say, after pivoting to this, as they call it, second act of life, I have
Hmm.
I have to vote and advocate for me, and
Yeah.
no one else is not going to do it. So
Yeah. And
um,
it takes practice. It
it
doesn't come naturally. And it's not, I'm going to tell you, like I know, getting through and to that is incredibly uncomfortable, ladies. So
is.
don't feel like you're just going to be like, oh yeah. And I tell people it took me, and it still takes me sometimes a little bit to
Me too.
get to the point where I understood and was comfortable with the idea that no is a full sentence. I
And
don't
it's
owe you an
okay.
explanation.
Nope.
I don't have to backpedal out of it. No means no. And
And it's still hard. I
it's still
and some
hard.
but
Yeah.
and then also too, let me say this to you ladies. I've put the shield down sometimes, thinking, okay, now they've felt the boundary set. They'll respect it. Soon as I put
Mhm.
that shield down, I'm
Here
looking
they
like,
go.
"Dang, here we let me go put it back up."
I
And I
know.
put it, and but that does remind me, and it does remind me that I have to be mindful, and I
Yes.
still have to be protective of my space, because not everybody will respect it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to take care of you. You have to take
Mm,
care of you. And amazingly, when you start, because like you said, this is the boundary is for you. It's not for them, right?
right,
And when you start treating yourself differently, when you start treating yourself better, other people will follow suit.
right.
But as long as you let them get away with whatever they want to get away with,
They
when
will.
you're not protecting your boundaries, they're sure not going to do it.
They sure not. So be
Exactly.
strong. Look, be strong, ladies. And if you need some guidance on how to do it, look, call me, text me. I'll tell you how to do it. Or better yet,
Right.
we
Call
can
me, text me.
yeah, because Dr. Green, one of us, or all both of us, we can help you out, because let me tell you, a peace of mind is what you need, and especially over on this second half of our lives.
Protect your
And
peace.
it's protected at
Protect
all
it
costs.
at all costs. Yes.
And that's not
Yes.
being funny, but that's true.
It's
Protect
true.
it at
It,
all costs.
every day, you cannot disturb my peace.
Cannot. And you
That's
don't
not
get it.
allowed.
Nope,
Just
and you don't get it.
no,
Sorry. Sorry,
no.
not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Look,
Sorry, not
sorry, not
sorry.
sorry.
So, Dr. Green, if someone wanted to get in touch with you more, this has been fun. I could talk to you all day. I've had a blast. If they want to
Yeah.
get in touch with you and talk to you further, how can they do that?
Absolutely. So you can absolutely find me on my website, wellwithL.com. It's scrolling across the bottom. I've got it under my name. You get there, you can learn a little bit more about me and my journey and how I ended up here. Um, I have all kinds of ways that I work with people. I work one-on-one with individuals. I work in organizations. I have online resources and courses and self-paced coaching. So if you just want to get the information and go off and work it out yourself, you can. I work hybrid, so you can do the online stuff, and then we can get together and figure out, what your path is. But you can schedule some time to meet with me and talk about what your goals are. And I am more than happy and available to help you find a path forward so that you can protect your peace on the other side of whatever side of the other part of 45 you are on. And because there's a different way to do this thing, right? And the shift can happen. And like Pamela said, you don't have to do it by yourself. So wellwithL.com, you can find me. I'm here to help you.
Absolutely. And I'm with you, doctor. You don't have to do it by yourself. So that's the beauty of this. Now, on the other side of our other shifting part of our lives now, we don't have to do it with by ourselves. We can
Yeah.
get some amazing women arm in arm and let's go. Let's march it together and keep it moving. And like you said, protect your peace.
Protect your peace.
Protect your peace.
Yes, please.
Please protect, yeah, please at all costs. Doctor,
Yeah.
what at this point in time in the show, I always do some little fun things here. So one of
Okay.
them is all about self-care. I think as we are redefining wellness, I think self-care is so important. What is
Mhm.
one self-care routine that you do on a regular basis?
On a regular basis, I meditate daily. I try to do yoga a few times a week. Um, Moving my body is really important. Drinking water is a self-care thing that is like super important for me. So yeah, it's not always, my big thing is the once a quarter I try to go and get a massage, I do have a spa day for myself or whatever. But for me that self-care is those little things that I can do, every day. Sometimes I get in a half an hour meditation, sometimes I get in 5 minutes, but I get it in, you
Right.
know, those little kinds of things really, really, really help me be mindful of what I'm putting into my head. So I try to read a little bit, regularly, listen to good music, those kinds of things. Little things like that can make a huge, doesn't have to be a big
Mm.
life shifting situation. Little things
I'm
done
with
with
you.
intention.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, earlier today, Serena Williams was talking about she's partnered up with, and this is no plug, so I don't want no one to ding me because I'm not. This is not a plug, but she is talking about the importance of moving your body.
Mm,
So she's partnered up with a wellness company where they are even starting to help you track your steps and the importance of tracking your steps, but just not even the importance of tracking your steps, just moving, getting up
yeah,
to move. And she said 30 minutes a day. So I have been really working on moving every day. That's
nice.
my one self-care. Water. Oh, love me some cold, ice cold water. Oh, girl. Mm.
Yeah, it's good
Where there's
stuff.
like when you almost see the ice getting ready to form in there. I like it. I know that's crazy. That I really love to drink. And then my other one is walking. Now I
Mhm.
love, especially here in Columbus, we have an outdoor mall. So when it's getting like late like this time in the fall and the lights are there's just now turning on the lights, it is
Yeah.
so relaxing and
Oh,
so
nice.
peaceful. And so, if y'all see me out there walking, please note that you're more than welcome to walk with me. We can
Oh,
talk for a little bit like we do now, but that's my other self care. I love to do that. Love, love,
yeah.
love, love to do that.
Movement is so important, so
Oof,
important.
so important. Well, you
Yeah.
talked about reading, and I love to read. One part that we always talk about is book on a shelf. And so, with that being said, do you recommend a book? And if so, what book would you like to recommend to everybody?
Oh my god, I'm such a reading nerd, like,
Me too, girl.
I read
I
all
got
the
90
time.
books. I got
I
90
was
books.
gonna say, how many recommendations do you want? Because I
Okay,
could
well,
give you a list.
I know. Let's go for the top three.
Oh, wow, okay, that's hard. Okay, my top 3 right now, because it could change.
Yeah.
My top 3 right now are, oh, wow. So one book I'm reading, and I think I'm rereading it, is Feeling is the Secret. I think it's by Emmett Fox. Feeling is the Secret. Um, Another one that I would recommend, that I've probably read multiple times, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Mm.
Super, super love that one. Um, and then maybe another, Ask and It Is Given. by Esther Hicks. Those are some of my favorites. I
I
know
love
there's one other one, and it's so funny, like, I can see the cover of the book, I'm like, "Let me run to the room and get it," but I'm not gonna do that. But, yeah, there's one other one I really wanna share. If I think of it, I'm gonna swing it back in there,
that
but,
sounds
yeah,
good.
those
That sounds
those
good.
3 will keep you going.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm always reading 3 books at a time. So the first one I'm reading is Vivid Vision, and it talks about focusing on your vision. And I like it because it gives you homework assignments. Now I'm all about if you tell me what to do, but if you kick it into gear and talk and show me it, I'm all
Yeah.
in. I'm in all for that one. My other one is look, I pick it back. I just picked it back up. It is called. Look, I got it on my phone. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Come on. Is and I'm gonna say this: you're a badass at making money.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
good one.
this is my second time rereading that one. And then my last book that I am wrapping up, read it once, I'm rereading it again, is Master of Me by Kiki Palmer. And
Okay.
I like that one too because again, she talks each chapter, she talks about it. She talks about how we recognize us and then gives us a homework assignment. So she ties it back. And that helps me to like, okay, she's making it more about me, not about
Mhm.
her.
Right,
So
yes.
that's one thing I do like about her. So those
Nice.
are my 3 books.
Okay.
Then I don't know if you heard me at the beginning of the show. Today is Win Wednesday. Always
Mm,
recognize everybody's win. So,
yes.
Dr. Green, do you have a win for yourself for this week?
Um, I do. So it's not like a finished win, but it's a win.
Okay,
I'm calling it a win. So,
absolutely.
yeah, so I'm actually in the running, to win a really big contract with the state of Virginia. Yeah, to do
Yay!
some of this leadership and wellness, training. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. So
Congratulations. I'm
thank
so happy and proud of you. That is amazing.
thank you.
Yay. I
Thank
have
you.
to say my win my win for this week is now starting to offer to women who are looking to do something outside of their 9 to 5. I'm offering podcasting coaching. Anybody that's interested in doing some podcasting, they want to have their own podcast, but they don't know where to start, I can help you out. So if you're looking for
Nice.
I know I've been dragging my feet forever, ever, ever, ever. Um,
Divine timing.
it sure is. It sure is. And guess what? If you don't even want to do podcasting, I also now have a digital ebook that will show you how to do digital products from your desk using your phone. And it's a blueprint. So it takes you, again, if y'all heard me, I need step by step by step. Not playing
Right.
on this side of the earth, on this side of the spectrum. I do need it. With that being said, the ebook will do it as well. So if you're interested in any of those, just let me know, drop me a line, and I definitely will could connect with you there. And then, Doctor, the last bit of the show. Look, I have him here. I was excited because I was telling everybody I'm gonna ask her. So I have some rapid fire questions.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna ask you if you just tell me what comes to your mind. This will be fun. You ready?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's do it.
The first one is your morning ritual you'll never skip.
Praying before my feet hit the ground.
Love it. One herb every woman over 45 should have in her wellness toolkit.
Oh god. I'm gonna go with passion flower. I think
Ooh,
that's really
ooh.
yeah, it's a
I've had the
calmative.
tea. Yeah, I've
It's
had the
it's a
tea.
calm
Ooh,
yeah,
the tea
it's
is
a
the bomb.
calmative, so good sleeping, keep you
Mhm.
calm.
Oh, listen. I love the tea. Look, not all me. Let me stay
Yes.
focused. Let me stay focused.
Okay.
Most powerful lesson midlife has taught you.
That I'm enough.
Ooh, that's good. Good. Balance in one word.
Peace.
Last one. Your go-to song when you need a reset or a confidence boost.
I got a list. Um, all right, let's go with, oh man, okay. So, okay, recently it's been, Oh my gosh, it's slipping me. It's been a Beyonce, "You Won't Break My Soul."
Ooh, oh, I like that.
That's one of them.
I know that's right. I like those. Okay, that was for all my rapid questions. I thought we would do it at the end to have some fun really
Yeah,
quick before we
nice.
ended our show. This was so much fun. Dr. Green, I'll have to have you back on. This was
Please do.
amazing. But as we get ready to close down our show, what would you like to leave the listeners with?
Yeah. So first, thank you for having me on, for the great conversation and allowing me to share. For the listeners, I would leave this. Um, you can shift, right? After 45, honestly, this is when we have it more together than we honestly think we do. And you can make a shift. You don't have to do it alone. You can put down the superwoman cape. You can take off the S off of your chest. There's help out there. And on the other side of the shift is something really amazing and magical. So, like we said, if you are ready to make a shift, if you're ready to put your pinky toe in and kind of see what the shift is about, I am certainly here to help you. Um, and join me on the other side. Join us on the other side of the shift, and let's redefine the narrative of what our lives can be and make them what we want them to be.
Doctor, that was amazing. I'm going to put you in the green room. Don't hang up. I'll be right back with you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye. Oh my goodness, you guys, my notes are she dropped some nuggets and I hope you have received the nuggets as well as I have. I want you to understand that as we are shifting into our second half of our life of the movement of our lives, I want you to know you don't have to do it by yourselves. Dr. Green and I said, you don't have to do it. We can do it arm in arm, and we have a resource. If Dr. Green can help you, I surely can help you. And there's so many ways you can do it. But I want you to know that I want you to do it because you know what? You only have that one life to live. I want you to live it to your best and to the fullest, and do it for you without guilt. I know we have a lot going on, especially you C-suite executives out here, but I want you to go after what you desire and take care of you and note that you're important and for everything else. And so with that being said, you guys, you all rock and I appreciate you. If you have any questions or if you would like to drop us a line, please, you can go ahead and text it to me at 614-674-0074. If you found today's show was inspiring to you as well, it could be inspiring to your girlfriend or girlfriends. Let them know that the show will be dropping Friday. As well as, last thing, if you could give me a review that will move She Shift up the ladder so that She Shift can get more notoriety and notability, I would greatly appreciate it. And understand that if you want to do something more outside of the cubicle, I just announced it. I'm also doing some podcast coaching. And if that's not for you, I get it. Trust me, I get it. I also have a digital toolkit where it can show you how to create digital items on your phone, and your phone can be empowering you to make you your what's next, maybe the digital marketing. But anyways, if that is something you want to do, don't forget I'm here for you. Let me know that you can send me a text at 614-674-0074 and say me. I'll come back and ask you which one. And lastly, real quick before I close out today's show, it's sponsored by Hot Flashes Cool Topics. The women were amazing. They came in. We talked about friendship after 45. That was a couple shows ago. You can check it out. It's on a lot of the major podcast platforms. I think it's important. They've been doing it for 8 years and running a business. If that's something you're interested in, or many other shows that we have dropped in the past, you can find them there. So until then, everybody, you rock and know your shift can start now. Bye, everybody.